Welcome back, everybody, to Treknopod. I am Captain Schaff, 1/3 of the bridge crew here at the USS Treknopod. Lately, we've been talking about Starfleet Academy, and we're going to continue to do that today. We're talking about episode 4, which the title is Vox in Excelso, which sounds like something you might sing during Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's not. Latin, I think. I don't know. But without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce the rest of my dear friends and co-hosts on this podcast. Let's give it up for Captain Linda Pages. How are you today?
I'm okay.
You're staying afloat, right?
I'm staying afloat. Past 5 days has been breakup, apartment flooded, storm building flooded. But I also dyed my hair. And, a new episode of Starfleet Academy. And I have 4 exams in the next week. So by the time you see me next, I will have taken 2 of them.
Wow.
And 2 of them are on the same day.
Oh, wow.
Thermo and quantum, the 2 most difficult ones, are going to be on the same day.
Good luck.
February 13th. Please pray for me. To whatever you believe in. I'm not picky.
Our Schaff, who art in heaven.
Yes. Who art in Stovacor.
Potentially Dear Cisco, based off of the latest trailer for this week's episode.
Let me see that thong.
Yeah. Schaff doesn't do the trailers. I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Is this your first rodeo?
The thong song is in the next episode. Sorry, Schaff.
I'm so sorry.
No, honestly,
how cold is it?
I did see the trailer this week, not intentionally, but I saw it. It was just happened to be on an ad or something, and I caught a few glimpses of some stuff. So yes, it does look like they're going to be touching on some Cisco mystery.
I need to finish Deep Space Nine then, probably, to appreciate this.
Yeah, but I don't think you have enough time. All right. Well, and also we have Captain Vactor, who is in this luscious purple color, just like looking like a snack over there. How you doing, Captain Vactor?
I'm doing good because I prayed to a different Cisco, and it is the Cisco. That's the Cisco that I prayed to, Chuck. So thank you very much. And I'm very proud to rock my Starfleet Academy shirt, and I can't wait until the semester's over.
Fantastic. Well, I thought since we're talking about Starfleet Academy, we're talking about college, and this particular episode was focused on Jay-Den, who at the beginning of the episode, it's kind of centered around him having some fears of public speaking. And that got me thinking about just being in school or being at work, and there's always like something that requires us to get up in front of the class or get up in front of like in a meeting and have to like be on the spot and have that spotlight. And I wanted to see if you guys had any public speaking horror stories that you wanted to share.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Okay.
My most recent one was last semester. I took a Spanish class. And I grew up as a theater kid, obviously, so I had that recurring nightmare of, like, you get a role and all of a sudden you have to go on stage and do it without any rehearsal at all. And, like, yeah, that was a recurring nightmare I had as a kid. So we had a project in Spanish where it was a group project. We all had to write the script together, and then we had to present it. Not a big deal. Except I get there, and once I sit down, one of my partners turns to me and goes, "We had to memorize it." And I was like, "What?" So yeah, we had to memorize it. And it was like you had to do like several different things. It wasn't just like a regular conversation. Like we had like written the script to meet all these requirements. So I had all this time to memorize it. I just didn't know we had to. So we had to get up there and just wing it. And I was like, I've had real nightmares about this exact thing happening. This is truly a nightmare. I also, once in 6th grade, we had this like talent show, and I got up to sing a song, and I got one verse in and went, I forgot the words, and I ran off stage crying.
No.
So those are my 2 biggest ones. I had a lot of little theater moments. Like I choked on a cough drop once. Like I had a cough drop in my mouth and I forgot that it was in my mouth. So I went on stage to do my scene, and I was playing this like really angry British headmistress and a little princess. And so I was like, holy shit, I just have to swallow it. Like I just have to swallow it whole. Like I can't spit it out. In retrospect, I was drinking tea in the scene, so I totally could have just like spit it in the cup and put it back. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I tried to swallow it, so obviously I choked on it, and it was just awful. So those are my top.
So they're like giving you like the Heimlich maneuver, like on
No,
stage.
but the show I did about 4 years after that, I don't know why. This was so stupid. It was Little Women. I was playing Beth, and the girl who was playing Amy wanted to like peek out and see the audience, which like you're never. I don't know why. We were just dumb and 16. I don't know why we were doing this, but I knew better than that. But she wanted to go, so I followed her. I tripped over a cord that was taped down. Like it was just me not looking. It wasn't anyone else's fault. I had a cough drop in my mouth. It got lodged in my throat. I started choking. The video is so funny because they were already videoing because curtain was about to go up. So they were already videoing. So someone runs out on stage and goes, "Tori Lynn, where's Tori Lynn?" My mom. So my mom comes running up with the band director. So my mom actually did give me the Heimlich, and eventually dislodged it. And I swallowed it instead of it coming back out. It just went down. And then we didn't tell the director until like I still don't know if she knows. If we told her, it was like 3 or 4 years later. Yeah, it was like recently. And then I went on stage and sang 10 minutes later.
The show must go on.
Dang.
Yeah, but those are my top 3. Like,
good.
I'm on stage and like I've forgotten what I'm supposed to do, or something went like horribly wrong. So
I had a feeling you might have some good on-stage stories. Yeah. Okay. Vactor, how about you? Any public speaking, just like nightmares happen to you, whether at work or in school?
I do not have any, and even if I did, I would not be able to top Linda's story. That was amazing. I have had nothing but good experiences. So knock on wood, Shoff, that it stays that way.
Didn't know we were dealing with a badass over here at public speaking. Actually,
you know what though? It's one of those things.
He's got these dulcet tones. You know, everything comes out very smooth.
Yeah. The public speaking is one of those things where it's like, I feel like you never remember when it happens to someone else, but like you remember even if it was something small when it happens to you. Like, I don't think there's a single show I've done where I don't have something that I think about and I laugh about because I'm like, what was I doing? Like,
yeah.
I had one where I was on stage the entire show. I put Henrietta Leavitt in Silent Sky. Literally, like I had one 30-second scene where I was off stage. The rest of the time, it was a 2-hour show I was on stage, and I had it was like basically the story of the first female astronomers. So we all had our little desks, and I had to use special mic tape because I was allergic to one they normally use. So I had a roll of it in my desk because I slept for a little bit of the show, so I could like replace my mic tape if I needed to because it wasn't as good. I took out something from the desk. The mic tape roll goes flying across the stage. I'm on stage for another like 20 minutes before I'm going to leave. So I'm sitting there with my head down, just looking at it for like 20 minutes, just staring at it, and nobody else grabbed it. So next time I left, I grabbed it. But I remember thinking like, really? Like, what? Like I couldn't have just moved it off to the side. Like I had to leave it like on top of the star plate that I grabbed. It just went flying. Like it wasn't like a little subtle thing. Like it went flying and then it continued to roll. Just watching it. Like,
man,
it was awesome.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, let's see. I don't know if I can top Linda's stories, but I did take a public speaking class in college, actually in community college. And it was just like a prereq for a lot of other stuff. So I had to take it. I would never have taken it if I didn't have to, like to willingly subject myself to public speaking courses.
Even though you're a theater guy?
Yeah, no. I love theater because I don't have to be in my own skin. But like,
okay, that's fair.
In a podcast setting, like it's one thing because like you're like embracing like your inner geek and stuff, but like
you're also just talking to us though. You're not talking to
right, exactly.
Right, like people are gonna watch it,
the millions of subscribers that we have, you know.
Yes.
But no, but I did a public speaking class, and they would film everybody's speeches every week, and the point of that was so that we could look back at our stuff and see, hey, do we have weird mannerisms that we do? Are we saying a word or a phrase over and over again as like a crutch? Do we have a lot of ums and likes, you know? And I learned the hard way that I have a word that I say way too many times when I'm doing public speaking, and that word is basically. I was listening back to one of my speeches, and I said, and basically what this means basically is that it basically what you basic, and I was just like, it was just continuing to like unravel this basically situation. And now I'm like very, very aware of it. And I still catch myself. I will still say basically, but I do my very best not to because of that. And then I do have a quick stage story. So I was doing Footloose the musical, and I was playing the part of Kevin Bacon's role, Ren McCormick. And this was a part of the show. It was right around like the midway point of the show. And I'm supposed to be singing out to this gym full of kids and getting them all riled up and getting them on my side. And I'm singing this song about being, I'm free. And then like, and there's this like whole like thing. And it's just me standing up. Everyone else is sitting down. And I'm supposed to be really, really motivating. And I got the first verse down. It was perfect. Get to the second verse. Not a clue what it was. Like the entire thing was like sucked out of my brain. And I was just there in my body, but there was not a lapse. I wasn't like stuck without anything to say. Instead, instinctively, my body just started scatting. And I just started, instead of singing the words, I was just going, this whole thing.
You always go back and do the first verse again. That's always
no. I couldn't even remember the first verse again. I was beyond screwed. Yeah, no. I just started making up words, and it just turned into a whole scat thing. And everyone was like looking at me, and they all like very much knew that I was off in my own world. But they were amazed. And I was seeing these little like hints of grins, like people like trying to keep it together and not like lose their shit. And then I'm just trying to keep it together. It was something.
Nice.
Yeah.
So my last show ever, this will be my last theater story. We did Freaky Friday my senior year. That was our musical. And I played Adam, the teenage boy love interest. I had a song called Women in Sandwiches. It was fantastic. My high school best friend was playing like the body of the teenage girl. So we had a lot of fun with that. But the ends with a wedding, not between the teenagers, between the adults. And so the entire cast is on stage, and we're all sitting in like these chairs, like for the wedding, blah blah. And it's the end of the show. I'm pretty sure this was our last performance too. So all the seniors are already like everyone's like super emotional. Someone's grandmother's phone starts playing TikTok by Kesha. And like she dropped it in between the seats and she couldn't get to it, and it was obviously like an alarm or someone was calling her, because it would stop and it would stop over and over again, and she was obviously trying to find it and couldn't, and it just kept going. And I tell you, that's the hardest I've ever tried to stay in character ever. Like, other people broke and were laughing, and I was like, no, like you will focus, you will lock in. That was the hardest I've ever had, like not laughing on stage. It was so hard to not laugh. She was obviously looking forward, she obviously felt so bad, but it was just like, it would just stop and then it would start over again. We were like, oh god, it was good. It was fun.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Like eventually the two characters who were talking just stopped for a second and just like took compose themselves, like they were staring at each other trying to like...
Oh man. I feel like we could fill an entire podcast episode full of
we could. I'm sorry.
Our stories. No, it's great. It's great. But I like, we'll have to like make a Patreon and then like
that's
really
what I always tell my mom, because my mom has all of these great stories from working as a pharmacist. Like she really could genuinely start a podcast. Like it's fantastic. Yeah.
I would like and subscribe.
Hear that, Mom?
There we go. We got our first patron. With that, we're gonna do a quick red alert. Or like the girl on the first episode of Starfleet Academy. Red alert, red alert, red alert, red alert. You don't have to say it. That's what the warnings are for.
That's what the alarm's for. I really loved that. That was really fun. By the way, just a quick shout out to everyone who is saying that was like too absurd. Did you watch Lower Decks?
Right.
Everyone's talking about like all of the references to other series. That was obviously a Lower Decks reference. Like that was Lower Decks style humor. So
yeah, and she's a cadet that doesn't have her stuff together. So what? It's the first day of school. They weren't expecting that.
I saw a comment that really made me laugh. Shout out to Nat. I love you, Nat. She someone said something on her TikTok and was like, "Oh, like do like, do you think teenagers are so dumb that they swallow their comm badges? And she said, you've obviously never been to an ER. Humans are stupid. And I was like, that's so true. Like, she's right. Like, humans are really dumb. We do dumb things. That's, yeah, I thought about that because I was like, yeah, how many, like, every ER doc ever has these crazy stories of the ER. So I totally believe that someone swallowed their comm badge once. And then the whole school is talking about it. Like, did you hear that she swallowed her comm badge? Like, how did that even happen? Yeah, because like if someone was like, oh, someone swallowed their R card, because that's what our student IDs are called, I'd be like, yeah, you know, like that was really dumb. How'd they do that? And also why? But like, it wouldn't be like, you know, like be like, yeah,
it's like it's things you wouldn't expect that there are the things that happen. Like my 5-year-old daughter will sit in a chair and somehow will fall out of said chair, or the chair will end up flipped upside down. And I'm thinking to myself, you're just sitting in a chair. Like the gravity is not like reversing suddenly and you're just falling out of the chair. Like she somehow will manage to fall out of every chair she sits in, and it's amazing. But then again, it's like, that's what we're talking about. Like, these are things you can't possibly like explain. You think they would never happen, but it absolutely, these things happen.
My childhood best friend's little sister once swallowed a battery. We were all in the playroom together, but we were also really little, and our parents came and checked on us, and she'd opened the back of a toy and swallowed a battery. Like, none of us saw it. Like, she just like, it happens, you know?
But she won't eat her dinner, right? Like, it's the same thing. Like,
but the battery,
right?
The comm badge.
It wouldn't be school if we didn't learn something, and the doctor made sure to share a word on this episode of Starfleet Academy that I didn't know what it meant, and I felt really dumb as a result because he said it so many times in the beginning of the episode, and that word is diaspora. Had you guys known this word prior to him saying it?
Yes, I have, but yeah, because I took IB English and then also IB history, and then also a couple of history classes when I first got to schools here. So yes, but I would not have known it if it wasn't like explicitly taught to me in those classes. Because
like I was like on the fence. At one point I thought it meant like a bouquet of flowers, and then at one point I was like, no, it's probably not that. Definitely not with Klingons. The Klingon, you know, the Klingon bouquet of flowers. Yes. So, but for those that don't know,
known for their beautiful floral arrangements. There's a Klingon flower shop every 20 feet on Kronos.
Right. Yeah. So for those that are like me that heard that word a bunch of times and did not Google it, here's the answer. It's the dispersion or spread of a people from their original homeland. So therefore, the Klingon diaspora. Now, we've learned that post-burn, the Klingon Empire is an endangered species. I kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that. Like, that's quite a nugget of information.
I don't know why I just said It was the way that you just said that, and then I cheered. Obviously not yay that they're endangered. I don't know why I just did that. Sorry.
Good riddance.
Bye. I think it is an interesting arc, although I think it would have also been interesting if the Klingons had maybe grown into a stronger empire post-burn. Because I feel like the Klingons of all the species that we have encountered in the Star Trek universe would be the ones to thrive the most off of this like post-apocalyptic environment.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like, of all of the species and the societies that we've encountered in Star Trek, I think Klingons would be the ones to, like, you know, I don't know. So, but I definitely think it was interesting. It was an interesting, every generation of Trek has given us a new perspective on Klingons, and we've really gotten to see them evolve. So I like that we have a new storyline for them now. Like, I kind of like that they're struggling now. Like, I think it's a good contrast, because we've just seen them be like so powerful for so long.
Yeah, we've certainly seen them as villains in plenty of the films and TV show episodes from the early days. We've seen many different styles of Klingon. I think this version that we've sort of settled on with Starfleet Academy is a mostly accepted look of Klingons. I would say they're definitely more dreaded out than they've ever been. But I'm not against it. I think it's a cool look.
Emma goes, when did he have time to get an eyebrow piercing? And also, how? Like, is there a piercer at Starfleet Academy? And I was like, girl, I don't. I didn't think of it that deeply, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, they're in an interesting dilemma because it's like this concept of honor and being kind of too proud to accept any kind of charity from Starfleet has left them in a unique situation where they're refugees that are scattered and have no homeworld anymore and are on the verge of complete collapse and still unwilling to change based on that, facing extinction as a species. And not, I don't know, I guess I can see the parallels here because, you know, the human race as we know it right now in our society, we're all, I mean, spiraling towards our own destruction, but we're not doing much of anything to change it. So it's like, I guess we're kind of like the Klingons in that sense. It's interesting that the planet that they found is actually technically in Federation space. I don't know what that does exactly.
Also very clearly an M-class planet.
Yeah.
Very Earth-like.
They refer to Kronos as Kronos. They a lot of like
they did
endings.
Wait. I did want to talk about that because Kalesh, they kept saying Kalesh, and I actually said to Emma, I was like, "It's Kalesh." Yeah. I don't know why they're saying Kalesh, but all of them did. So I don't know, like, but I thought about that. That's actually really interesting if they did that on purpose because it shows like the speech. It has been 600 years. Like the word has changed over time. I think that's really.
I know that Discovery, when Discovery had the Klingon, their version of the Klingons, and they had a lot of similar pronunciation as that this show has. So maybe that's kind of just what they sort of like decided on to give it more of like a cultural edge. I don't know, like an ethnic sound. I'm not sure.
It sounded strange to me though, because I've heard most of my Klingon. I mean, I watched all of TNG, but most of my Klingon knowledge comes from Voyager. So I obviously say Kales. So,
Factor, are you glad the Klingons are down to the last few? Those Klingon bastards killed my son.
You know, Shoff and I had a discussion about Klingons off mic because my Klingon, kind of the thing that shaped my viewpoint of Klingons was always Worf. That was my number one defining, okay, this is what a Klingon should be. This is what a Klingon looks like, sounds like, acts like. And with Discovery, I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right to me. And they had these prosthetics in their mouth and it made the actors like hard to understand them. There was a whole bunch of things that I was like, this doesn't feel right. And I've seen different things. And then was it this episode, Shuff, or was it last week's episode? Now I'm getting the episodes confused. There was a non dark skinned actor playing the Klingon.
Oh, that was this episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. Why is he lighter? He needs a tan. He needs to get out in the sun more. This doesn't look like the Klingons that I'm used to. So Shoff and I, we just had kind of,
you know what?
Your tan is not honorable.
Actually, you know what? It made sense though to me a little bit because it was like, okay, presumably like it's possible he has lived on a ship for most of his life or most of his recent life. So he wouldn't he wouldn't be tan. I know that's like a dumb thing to say, but like he would be a lighter color because he really has like actually gotten less sun.
Yeah, that,
do you know what I mean?
That makes
like,
sense.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. That like actually tracks a little bit.
I could
some
buy
of
that.
the Klingons were on different planets, so like obviously if they're on a planet, but like whether outside most of the time, like Jay-Den's family clearly was. But
Shoff and I
some of the Klingons probably have lost their color because they haven't been. God knows how long it's been since they've been. Maybe some of them might have been on ships their whole life. So.
Right, and we talked about how other we've seen other lighter skinned actors play Klingons in the Star Trek films and other things, and so it's just interesting how, like I said, my worldview was always like, oh, they looked like Worf from the beginning. And having to go back and say, wait a minute, that was actually a change that was made. And so it's the ebbs and flows of the Klingon species have been interesting to me. I still feel most comfortable with Worf, and now with Jay-Den. Like, this is the type of Klingon that I'm used to, and the way that the flashbacks that we saw of his family, the way that he was acting, like, that is the Klingons to me. The Klingons in Discovery, they didn't jive with my feelings. So I'm liking this.
The Klingons have had so many looks too, and that's a real hot button issue for the Trek fandom. Is, you know, you've got the TOS Klingons, which they look human, just had, you know, bushy eyebrows and facial hair. And then you had
human, but they have a forehead ridge, but they have weird ears. Like that's the classic. That's the standard Star Trek alien. Human butt, forehead ridge. Human butt, weird ears.
Human butt.
Human butt. Strange hair.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
It's never like funny. A third arm, you know? Like, it's never, you never get something. I mean, obviously, like, I know that Star Trek,
it's got to be symmetrical for sure.
Like, if anyone hears this, is like, why would you say that? Like, why would you wish that upon us? Yeah, I'd like to see something with like 4 legs and like also 2 arms, you know, get creative.
Well, we got to see what could have produced
at Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, what could have produced a unique species outcome. Chancellor Ake and Klingon General Obel Wochak, they got some history, and the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. With a
yeah, for sure.
See what I did there?
For sure.
Yeah, they are definitely. They have some serious. I feel like there's going to be a will they won't they. This might not be the last time we see the two of them interacting. I kind of hope that.
Yeah. How long do Klingons live longer than humans? Right.
I'm not sure. It's a good question.
She made a comment to what's his name, the admiral, and she was like, he was like, I know you have history with him, and she said, my history with him happened decades before you were born.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know.
According to Google, it's around 150 years is the typical Klingon lifespan.
So she definitely could have. Then that definitely could have all been true then. Because I was like, wait, a timeline, something might not be adding up.
Yeah, they hoped that would have been the solution. That just her hanging out with this guy would have been enough for him to be like, yeah, okay, I'll take that planet. That sounds fine. And I'll take you too. No.
I'd fall for it.
No, clearly it wasn't enough, and therefore they required Jay-Den to solve this Klingon problem with a Klingon
which
solution.
He did excellently. That was a fantastic solution. Love Jay-Den. I liked it. I liked it a lot because it was very okay. Because here's the thing, I would be so on the side of the Federation in this, even if I was Klingon, because you can't go extinct. And the Federation's offering for you to not go extinct and to help you. I would have done exactly what Jay-Den did, knowing that my people would never have accepted charity. I would have made them fight for it because sometimes, like, you have to do things for people's own benefit. That sounded way more manipulative than I meant it to. But, like, I mean, sometimes, like...
Is there a way to express this that it doesn't come across as manipulation?
No, but this is what manipulation is in a good way. Like, this is how manipulation should be used. Like, this was the only way for this race to survive. They could not get over their own pride enough to accept help from the Federation. They would never have asked for it. They would have absolutely outright refused. So this was the only possible way for them to have a home planet again in the near future. So I really, really liked this ending. And also, side note, before anybody responds, I do want to point out something really funny that Emma said. When Ake and Jay-Den were standing next to each other, Emma turns to me and goes, Holly Hunter is so much shorter than Kareem. She doesn't even come up to his armpit. Like, if he forgot to wear deodorant that day, she would know.
And Klingons. Notoriously, do not wear
And then we
deodorant.
rewind, and she actually does not even come up to his armpits. Oh, it was funny.
Okay, so we know where Linda stands on this Klingon solution. Vactor, you watched the episode. What did you think about, before I share my thoughts, because it's going to unravel once I do. What did you think of it?
I am on the Linda side. I enjoyed the Klingon solution. I said, yeah, you know what? That was the way to do it. And I'm sure Shoff is not going to have a problem with this. That's what I said to myself. I didn't say that.
Yeah, no, I had a problem with it. I had a problem with it. I didn't want to have a problem with it. Like, I want to be a Starfleet Academy, like, happy with everything. I want to be that. But I also don't feel like that's realistic either. And I don't think that the show wants me to be that. I think that the show wants me to be critical of the things that I would find to be critical. And what I would say is that it definitely, while it was a solution and while it did work, I'm not 100% sure that Jay-Den should have been the one to come up with it, because it takes somebody who is just a cadet. Like, he doesn't have to be special. He's just a cadet. He's already special because he's the first Klingon in however long in Starfleet. Like, and he's also not choosing the path of a warrior as we know a warrior to be. He's choosing a path of healing and medical. So, like, he's already unique in that regard. He is essentially, the way they're painting it, he is the savior of his entire alien race. That is a huge, huge thing. And that honestly would be the kind of notoriety I wouldn't personally want. And I don't think that, the talk about like the legends, like Kalish, like Jay-Den is going to be remembered in the way Kalish is being remembered. And I think, like, I don't know, like that.
Well, do they know though that was his idea?
Well, we don't know what stories they're going to tell, but I would say probably.
Right. I am going to counterpoint here. Wesley Crusher saved the Enterprise like 100 times.
Right, but the Enterprise compared to an entire race of people?
Well,
the entire Klingon Empire?
Well, what's left of the Klingon Empire.
Right, but we're talking about there
are probably more people on the Enterprise than there are Klingons left.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
If you want to go just by numbers.
No, but yeah, but they've got a homeworld now. They've got the ability to rebuild, and this is like the starting point of what will be the renaissance of the Klingon Empire, and started by a cadet. And I'm not saying that Jay-Den isn't worthy, but to me, it's a lot to give someone who is just supposed to be another cadet in Starfleet. Like that's a big feather in one's cap. I don't think it should have been up to him. I think he is a student, like what I mean? Like, it was a little much to give to him. I loved his development. I love to see his strength. I love that they redefine what a Klingon warrior can look like. That's fantastic. I'm all for that. But it is absolutely pandering that Starfleet and like the Federation and in their tactics for how they solve this. And if any Klingons catch wind that this was a fake war, there's going to be hell to pay. And I kind of hope that it does go this route, because that to me would be an interesting consequence of this pure attempt at just trying to save the race. Klingons, known for their honor, known for battle, known for conquest. This was staged. It was fake. They were not trying to hurt them. And I think if enough Klingons analyze the fight and recognize that, we're going to have a lot more political problems on our hands. And I think that would be interesting for the story. So
that would be interesting. I'm going to throw out a couple of thoughts in response to that real quick.
Do it.
The first is that I have drawn the analogy a lot of comparing the Starfleet cadets post-burn to modern day college, high school students post-COVID. I think one of the lessons to take away from this is that you don't get a choice how old you are when something tragic happens to your community and how you have to deal with it and how mature you have to be or how you have to combat it. I'm thinking of like just a lot of modern day examples. Obviously, COVID. There was a really devastating school shooting within 20 minutes of me when I grew up. Like, you don't get to decide how old you are when you're confronted with those things, or when your peers are confronted with those things, and how heroic you have to be to take on whatever that is, and how much courage you have to have. So I definitely think that that's one thing to take away here is like Jay-Den saw a problem, came up with a solution. No, it's not his. It shouldn't be his responsibility. He is a teenager. Like, this isn't something that should be on his plate. He should get to be just a normal cadet, but he doesn't have that option because he's the only Klingon in Starfleet, and his family could be on board. And this is about his species, and so it's something that he just has to do. It's something he has a responsibility to, and feels that responsibility to, whether or not he's ready or old enough or up for the challenge. So I did really like that and this is not like the same thing at all. So I'm not comparing. I'm just drawing the like kind of analogy. Obviously, what Jay-Den, like his entire species, like that was way more intense. But like, my parents owned a pharmacy, were healthcare professionals during COVID. Like, I was 16 helping them with vaccine clinics. Like, a lot of my friends were helping their parents who were healthcare professionals with those things. Like, going and doing vaccines for halfway houses or whatever. Like, it's things that like maybe you're don't feel ready for, old enough for, but it's like there's a crisis happening and you're going to help. Like, it's yeah, like,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So I do think that was, yeah. So I did not hate that he was. I also think that's a very like common trope, especially in sci-fi, where like this 16-year-old kid has to save the world.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really well done in this case because he very clearly was like, I think what he said about what's going to be a debate in or outside of the classroom, I'd rather it be a debate in the classroom. The conversation's going to happen either way. Like, I think the way that he was talking about it and handling it was very realistic to what a 20-year-old would feel like. So those are my thoughts.
I think it was good in terms of closure for his story with his family, his dad and his brother, the two sides of, should you be a warrior? Like, should you go down the route of your ancestry, or his brother's more open path of, this is who you are. You're showing that you're a warrior in your way, and closing that up. I felt like they wove those two together, that the backstory, the narrative of him, which we hadn't gotten up to this point, and then the current storyline of how he's going to reintegrate. I think they put those two together nicely. But on the Shaw side, what I would say is I wish they had given him more of a spotlight, because I almost felt like the way that his storyline goes in this episode, of what you're saying, Shaw, putting the responsibility on him and the burden on him, I almost felt like what we've gotten up to this point, that should have gone to Caleb, because of his backstory, because of his relationship with Mrs. Incredible. Now I'm blanking on her name. Because of that bond that they have, that I felt like they're trying to lift him up, and he's the star, like he's like the main, actor in the show. And Jay-Den, this is his first time we're getting a spotlight on him. So it almost felt like we just didn't have enough with him yet up to this point in the season for him to be the savior and to have the burden on him. So I will agree with you on that part of it, but I still overall agree with Linda that I felt like this is going to be a launching point for him. We will be able to go back and have more stories told from this. So it's a good jumping off point for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also like not wanting to be like the token Klingon, like him. Like I just thought there was a lot of. It was just such a well written and well performed episode. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Emma really enjoyed it. She we've been watching it on Monday nights together, so we watched it last night, and she hates public speaking. She's a comm major, double major with English and communications, but hates public speaking. So at the beginning of the episode, she goes, "It's so relatable. He's literally me. This was literally me in public speaking."
Oh my gosh. Also, just a couple of quick things we learned through the episode. We were running out of time, so we'll just kind of go through it fast. Caleb Muir is a master debater. We learned that. He's a master debater.
I knew Schaff would like that part.
We got.
I did too. I was like, okay, we're gonna talk about that.
That's a Schaff joke. He wrote that.
Emma goes, oh my god, like she goes, better, or what did she say? She said more like masturbator, and I said, congratulations, you found the joke. Like
Yeah, good work.
She was like, get it, and I was like, yeah, that's basically what they just said. Like,
we get the hint. We get the hint or the sprinkling of a potential new relationship.
The hint of a sprinkling. Why weren't they kissing at the end of that?
That, I mean, are we starshipping this? Are we starshipping Darum and Jay-Den?
Yes.
Because it certainly.
Did you see the way they looked at each other?
Some heat.
The eyes, the way he moved his feet with his own foot, like the hands.
Yeah.
What? Where did this tension? I really
they looked at each other's eyes and it was like,
I thought it was going to be him and Genesis.
Yeah,
and Jay-Den and I thought it was Jay-Den and Kyle, and then Genesis and what's his name?
I will say this. I personally ship it. I'm totally starshipping it. I hope it happens. Yeah. But if it does happen, man, the fandom is going to be so obnoxious about it.
I don't care.
I don't care either, but it is.
I don't care.
As upset as they are about this show even existing, as soon as a gay Klingon appears, they are going to have a
They've already got their panties all in a bunch. Yeah. This isn't a Have you seen Star Trek? Like, genuinely, have you seen Star Trek? Has it not defied stereotypes for its entire existence?
Yeah. And I'm like, let's bring it on. I would love to see this in Star Trek.
The whole point, not like finding yourself, being true to who do you are, like being true to who you are, apparently not a good public speaker for me.
And that's what the college is about too. It's the experimentation. It's learning who you are, finding your identity.
Yourself into a stereotype that you don't fit into.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, well, he's not a real Klingon. Like, I actually asked someone today. I was like, genuine question, because I don't want to bully if you do. Do you have a single digit IQ? Like, I don't want to hurt. Like, I can't argue with you if you do, because that's not moral for me. Like, I need to know. So, let me know.
Phasers fired.
They didn't answer. They did not respond.
No, yeah, I'm sure they didn't. We had a great little pep talk moment between Laura Thok and Jay-Den, which was great because
really great scene.
She's got the Klingon heritage. Fantastic. Yeah. Love that. We also got to see a few other ships that are part of the fleet, and I just wanted to quickly call them out. Vactor, if you can share the picture that's in the agenda. We've got the USS Riker, the USS Capricorn, the USS
How did you
Lexington.
Know that?
What's that?
How did you know all of the names of the ships?
They shouted them out, and then somebody was kind enough to make this this.
The Riker.
Yep. The USS Athena, we learned, has a saucer section that also detaches from what we also thought was still part of the saucer section. So it's got like a secondary hull that it separates from, in addition to separating from the nacelles, which is cool. Yep. So yeah,
the Eisenberg class, like Aaron Eisenberg.
Exactly. Yep. There's the USS Horizon and the USS Crimson. The one in number 3 is the Lexington, and man, that friendship class looks so cool.
Yeah, that does look cool.
It looks like the Halo energy blade, doesn't it?
Yes. 100%. Yes.
So anyways,
what is happening with number 4?
That's Athena.
It's just I was like
yeah, that's the Athena, just the saucer section.
She doesn't look as strong and mighty.
No, yeah, she's the tiniest little one there. And I think the other cool thing I wanted to shout out real quick before we go is when they were having the battle, when the Klingon fleet arrived, they played the Klingon theme that was the Jerry Goldsmith theme from Motion Picture, which was great. I loved hearing that again. That was fun.
Jerry Goldsmith music.
That music way better than the theme song for this show. I'm sorry to say.
I like it.
Yeah, try humming it.
It's been a long time.
You can't, because there's nothing catchy about it. No. Yeah, that's the problem with this one. Yeah, so it's
Okay, I'm
just
gonna make that my alarm instead of the Voyager theme song, which has been my alarm, and I'll be able to hum it this time next week.
all right. Next week, Linda has homework. She needs to hum the Starfleet Academy theme song to prove that it's better than Enterprise's theme song, because I don't believe it. I think Enterprise's theme song is way better.
You can't compare Enterprise's theme song to any other theme song. It's the only one that's like that has lyrics. I was gonna say a real song, and then that was
like a pop song.
So. It's been a long road
getting from.
Are we gonna do duet karaoke of that song in Vegas?
Yes, please. It'll be like Video. Don't Stop Believing for Trekkies.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, with that, we're going to have to close out. Next week, who knows? Maybe we'll learn the truth about the mystery of Benjamin Sisko, and Linda will learn about the mystery of Benjamin Sisko at the same time.
I've done my research. I'm pretty well versed now, I feel.
With that, we will see you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in to our chat about Starfleet Academy, and live long and prosper. Mwah, mwah, mwah.